Today's virtual Tinkerage, as I said, is a reuse and repurpose Q&A. So we've got an amazing team across Resource Recovery Australia, and they're just going to share their insights, their inspiration, how they come up with their ideas.
I just want to see the scent.
And yeah, and so it'll be a great session. As always, feel free to ask questions as we go. I am going to pull up some photos just to give you an idea of what people are talking about as they go. But we're going to start off with Jared, because the tinkerers know the wonderful Jared from Dunmore. So
Hello, Jared.
Okay, hello. Hey everyone, for anyone that doesn't know me, I'm the Revolve Shop Dunmore manager. I'd just like to thank everyone for participating today. I think it's great that everyone can jump on and showcase what we do at here and other sites, and show the Tinkerage ladies. Yep. And show the Tinkerage ladies our other reuse projects. So my presentation today is going to be pretty short and sweet. Behind me, I have a project that Anita's currently working on, this big lion head. And as you can see, it needs repair. And she started on that side, and she's sanded down the bottom, and eventually it's going to be painted up and resold in the shop. So also, this little pelican is a cool little thing.
Oh,
and that's going to be sanded back and repainted. Yeah, it just needs a few touch-ups, but yeah, it'll also be showcased in the shop in the near future.
awesome.
And I'll just grab this, grab the laptop, and we've also got this storage box. If everyone can see that.
Yep, now we can.
There, yep. So that's got a crack down the middle there, and Anita's planning on sandblasting that, and yeah, she's going to sort of restain it for us.
Awesome.
So yeah, got many projects to keep Anita busy. I'll just put the laptop back up there.
Awesome.
Yep. Okay, so today what I wanted to just quickly talk about is just reuse of electrical items. As we all know, all the items that are sold in the shop have to be tested, and usually do the electrical test, but we've also got to do the working test side of it. So behind me I have just the standard drill. This one's a 12-volt drill. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of bring awareness to, if the ladies are using these drills at home, make sure they're constantly checked. We've got the charger here. If you notice any heat coming through the charging base or the battery there, definitely go get it checked out. Don't continue to reuse it. That's one thing, but as you can see, all our items here are tested. So we've got another electrical item. Got the planer here. So a thing to watch is the cords. Any cords are frayed, or you notice vibration in any electrical item with the cord, definitely go get it checked. Don't continue to keep using it. And just a lot of older power tools that have the battery chargers, not all the time will the base just turn off automatically when the battery is completely charged. So it's just the newer ones nowadays do have a mechanism where it will turn off. So just watch like the older items that you might have. Just make sure that it's not left on charge for multiple days. It will drain the battery life and will eventually deteriorate. So
Awesome.
no worries.
Thanks so much, Jared. I'll ask.
Thanks, Jared.
so we thought we'd try and keep some kind of order. So I'll pull up, if I could get Steve. Steve is from our Reviva Mossvale store. He's our manager up there, but he is also our can-do, our fix-it man. Now, he's known across RRA because he creates the most beautiful works of art in his reuse counters.
Hey everyone.
And Tamara as well. Awesome.
And
Okay, so
Steve needs to move into the picture a bit.
yeah,
Yep.
Steve.
I
There.
can't.
Ah.
Social distancing. I don't know.
That's all right. I can disappear.
Tamara hurts me all the time too. So
Oh, yeah. There you go.
You can see he's quite the character.
there we go. I haven't prepared a presentation as such.
That's okay. I'm happy to ask you. I have a million questions for you.
Oh, excellent.
Sorry. So, I mean, like we've talked a lot in the past about your reuse counters. Can you talk us through? I don't know whether everyone can see. Can you see my screen, everybody?
Can see you.
You can just see me. You can't see my screen even if I do this.
I can see the screen.
You can see the screen?
I can, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we've got a great photo of Jeff there. Do you want to talk us through what the counter in the background here is made out of, Steve?
That counter, that's
That's
one Clinton, is purely made from pallets and a little bit of mini orb that was all salvaged from the metal pile. When we take over a site, you'd like to have something there that shows reuse. And the counter is an obvious choice. Like some of them have had to be the frames from existing benches that are there, and then I just put a skin on them. This one I had to make from scratch because there was nothing to work with on site. And councils all like us to use stuff from scratch if we can, or it has to be from that site. So when people come in, they go, "Oh wow, what happened here?" And we say, "This is a pallet."
Yeah.
It takes a while to knock them apart and a lot of sanding and quite a bit of work, but essentially what I do is what every good husband does is I do what my wife tells me. So
Good
she
boy.
tells me to make a counter this big, and that's exactly what I did.
So for those that don't know, Steve's wife is Ali, our Deputy General Manager for RRA. So a lot of you would have met Ali along the way. And this one, even the structure of it was reclaimed pallets, wasn't it?
Yeah, yep. I just used the spaces between the thin pine slats as the main frame.
Awesome. And so, how long did it take you to build this one in particular?
That one took a little bit longer than the skinning ones do, obviously, but the time-consuming part is pulling the pallets apart, so you don't, because they're all made out of pine, most of them. There are the heavier hardwood ones, depending on whether you can source enough. But every time I'm totally reliant on what I've been able to get either from the waste stream or that like Jeff had put aside a whole lot of pallets for me ready to go, and the mini orbs, so that was easy there. But it's knocking them apart, making sure you pick the right thicknesses of timber so that you're not there with a planer for 3 days. So it's just a little bit of mix and match, and so they're the right size. Like the only reason it's got all those cute little window frames is because I didn't have enough mini orb to make it to the right size for Ali. So I had to improvise, and I just sort of come up with little window frames to sort of make the mini orb go further.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what the site's got already there. The Rockhampton bench, which you just saw previously, was the old massive big melanine bench that was off where the white racking is to your right.
Mm-hmm.
There was this huge old 60s, 70s bench there, and it was just like in disrepair, horrible. And so I just sort of got my circular saw battery, put it in, and then just went to town on it and cut it down to size. So I had a frame to skin out for this one.
Awesome. And so what tools do you use to, you mentioned planing there, but what are the main tools that you use to create these reuse counters?
You only really need a planer if you don't pick your pallets pieces carefully.
Mm-hmm.
You generally get away with a nice big belt sander.
Mm-hmm.
In pulling the pallets apart, rather than go with a hammer, which often breaks the wood, I like to just get a reciprocating saw, and then I go in behind the pallet and just cut the nails.
Yep.
So you get a demolition blade on your recipro saw or a hacksaw or whatever you've got, and just sort of like shear off the bit of wood at the back and the nail at the same time, and then just punch the nail out. You save a lot more timber that way, which makes it a lot easier.
Awesome. And what about, sorry, and what about is a lacquer or an oil? What and how do you decide on that?
Because of the benches, we've put hard polyurethane on the top, especially like many coats, because it's going to have a lot of hard work with people throwing stuff on the bench and all that. So we went with a flooring urethane, which was, I think it was Cabot's CFP was the brand. We try to grab one of those from the paint reuse section in any of the sites we're at, but that's one of the things that people tend to hang on to or use fully. So there's not a lot going into recycling. So unfortunately, I've never found a nice can of it still intact. So, but where possible, we do try and get everything we can from there.
And what about cutting the tin and the mini ore? What do we need to keep in mind when we're doing that?
I have a little Makita metal saw,
Mm-hmm.
which is a battery. I like my battery tools.
Yeah.
I hate cords because I'm a bit vague sometimes. But yeah, so I use that. Always have your goggles on because the little metal shards will go everywhere. If you haven't got old leather hands like me, definitely wear gloves. And put your ear cones on too, because it's extremely noisy cutting tin, and you don't want to hurt your hearing. And then just, yeah, make sure you have a nice solid stable bench, and then just be careful you cut it and let it drop to the floor. Don't try and catch it mid-air or anything silly like that, because you will cut yourself. Yeah, I've got quite a few nicks from doing these benches.
I bet. And so do you kind of what do you call it? Sand the edges to make them not as sharp afterwards, or?
On the metal, no, because I try and, because I'm like time limited when I'm making these, because we're trying to do a whole new site, and so there's putting up shelving to do too, and all the other jobs that come with setting up a site. The tin I have on the inside, so I always try and internalize it with a bracket behind it, so the edges are hidden and always out of the way, where possible, or I put a cover strip on it.
Yep.
Just to make it safe. And all the wood, I make sure I plane the corners so there's no sharp bits sticking out.
Excellent. So I just wanted to let you know, Sonia just wrote in the chat that she thinks it's inspirational. So well done, Steve. Thanks.
Cool, thank you.
Awesome. Well, we might pull a Tamara up next. So
sure, I'll slide out of the way. Nice
you.
talking to you all.
Thanks, Steve.
Hello.
Thanks, Stephen.
No worries.
So most of you will have seen Tamara's incredible reuse artworks. She is our team leader up at Reviva Mossvale, and yeah, I share her reuse ideas on the Revolve Dunmore and across country really regularly. So thank you, Tamara. I know it's you're in lockdown too up on the Southern Highlands, so thank you for joining us.
No worries.
I suppose for me, I think your story of why do you love reuse and reuse artwork?
I like to come to work and I'll just go in my shed and find things that I can make out of just scraps, out of the tip, out of the metal, you know, and rebuild it and use it so it's not ruining the environment and going into waste.
And so can you talk to me? I know you're missing your customers a lot right now.
Yes, I'm struggling very much with not seeing my friends and my customers. I do miss my customers.
Absolutely. Can you tell the story? I think it was of this, oh no, it's not the fish one. Have I got the fish one here? Can you tell us the story of the challenge that the guys over at the metal pile set you with the fish that came out of the metal pile?
Oh, it was like a thing that you put on your wall, and there was lots of little fish on it.
Yeah.
And the boys over at the metal pile says, "Here you go. I have a challenge for you. I want you to make something out of this." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." But it took a good few months of it sitting in my shed and being in the way, and I ended up making a mobile out of it and had all the fish hanging down.
So it's similar to this one on the right here. I don't know whether you can see my screen.
No, it's not on it, mine.
Okay. All good. And so what has been your favourite reuse project?
Oh, honestly, I love them all. I just love to make things. I actually don't have a favourite.
Awesome.
I really
And so
don't
on
have
the
favourites.
screen, some people will be able to see it, I think. We've got your teacup succulents, which were
Yep.
inspired by the Mid-Coast team and Chris.
Yes, I stole that idea.
And we've got your it's like a partition that you've put lights in.
Yes, that was in the metal pile, and I pulled it out, and as soon as I seen it, I was like, it's like a column, and as soon as I seen it, I was like, oh, I can put solar lights in that and put it in the garden.
Absolutely. And can you talk us through what the flowers are?
They're made out of old 2-litre bottles and out of Coke cans. Just by cutting them into shape, like cutting the cans into strips and bending them down, and then the bottles, and then putting littler ones in until you get the little one in the middle, and the other ones, bottles, just your Coke bottles, and I've just cut the same thing. I've just stripped them and cut them into strips, and then I've done it until I've got to the middle one, and then just painted them.
Awesome. And they come up really nice. And where do you use those bottles? Do they go into your garden?
No, actually they went into a pond up at Toowoomba, wasn't it?
Toowoomba,
Yeah, Toowoomba. It's in Toowoomba's water feature.
Yeah. So
I
you'll
did
see
that
that.
for them.
Everyone will see that in just a little while when we get up to the Toowoomba section. We've also got your little man that's made out of, I think he's made out of ball bearings, is he?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
So the cement works up here, after a certain amount of time, they've got to throw their ball bearings out. So yeah, I just sort of welded them together and made a funny little man out of it, because they lose their shape, so they don't break the concrete up. So that's why they throw them out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I just welded it together to make a little man out of it.
Awesome. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
I do. Because we're at home at the moment, like when I make a lot of wind chimes like you did with the a colander and beads and using old, what do you call it, cutlery and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
But at home, how do I drill things at home? Like I've only got a drill.
Yep.
Can I do that? I've never tried it actually.
Yeah, you can drill. It's like, make sure you have the right, and make sure they're sharp drills. Nothing's worse than the drill piece being blunt. So get sharp drills, and most material you can drill.
Okay.
So you don't need a special metal drill bit or anything like that?
If you like, there's different drill pieces that you can get. Like there's masonry drill bits for concrete, and then like plastic, you can sort of use any drill. Metal, you can sort of use your normal drill bits, but concrete, you need a masonry bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I might, because I've done it at the Tinkerage, but they've got the big press there that you can use, which is a lot more secure. But yeah.
Yeah. Just be careful that you might want to get something and like just tap it like it so it dinks it, like just something round so that it doesn't slide. Watch when you start to drill that it doesn't slide and get your finger.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going to have a go. Thank you.
That's great. Awesome. Did anyone have any other questions for Tamara?
I think someone asked a question about the teacups.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
Asking, did you put a hole in the bottom?
There you go. Tamara, did you put a hole in the bottom?
Those ones I didn't, but because I was in a bit of a rush, but you can. Again, just when you drill them, just be careful because it will slip, and use a very little drill to start off with. Otherwise, you'll just smash them.
Yeah.
And work your way up with the bigger drills.
Excellent. Thank you, Tamara. Last one, I wanted to talk to you about this. This is Tamara won our National Recycling Week competition last year with her reuse Christmas display. Can you give us a quick rundown, Tamara, on what each of these pieces was made out of? So the reindeer first.
Okay, so the reindeer, he's a 44-gallon drum. And for his head is a bucket, and then for his legs and his antlers is I welded on some just metal pipe.
Awesome. And how about Santa and the Nutcracker?
So the Santa is a 44-gallon drum, and the head is a littler drum. His hat was just like a bucket, and his arms were PVC pipe.
Awesome. And how about the Nutcracker?
The Nutcracker, that gumboots, then some PVC pipe, and then a massive round PVC pipe, and the arms are PVC pipe, and the head is actually an exercise ball.
I love that.
And the hat is actually a light shade.
That's awesome. I love how you've really reimagined those pieces that would have otherwise ended up in landfill.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, so next up, it's the other Chris, Chris Bean, and we'll pull Jeff up as well. I can't quite see you, Jeff, but I'm sure you're still here.
I can see me.
Chris, you can see you? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So for those that don't know Toowoomba particularly well, Toowoomba is an absolute mecca for gardening, and it's certainly emerging as a reuse capital of Australia as well, I think. So September is their Carnival of Flowers. So Jeff, do you want to, and Chris, do you want to tell us a little bit about the Carnival of Flowers?
Yeah, sure. So, throughout the month of September is known as the Carnival of Flowers, and so basically, it showcases and displays private and public gardens throughout the city that people can go to. There's various bus tours that people can go, and it also culminates in the floral display and the floral parade. It's actually tomorrow at 10 a.m. So, which it goes throughout the city, various floats. So it's fantastic community environment, and as you say, Toowoomba is known as the Garden City. So it's well known for its gardens, its parks, and September is definitely the month to showcase that.
Awesome. And so as part of the Carnival of Flowers, do you want to tell us a little bit about the competition that this garden you're standing in this photo won last year? Or was co-winner, sorry.
Jeff, did you want to inform the group?
Yep. Yeah, so that is our sensory garden that we did last year for the Toowoomba Regional Council's garden competition that they hold across all their waste facilities across the region. We came tied first for that one, so that was great result. Yeah, that's obviously a Lorax from Dr. Seuss. He's made from a saltwater filter pump container, and also his eyes are from some wheels. His moustache and eyebrows are made from witches' hats that have been cut out and then coloured. Obviously, he's got some gumboots there, and some piping's been used for his arms. He's got, and also some from pot plants, plant pots, I should say. They're has made his hands. So some excellent examples of reuse there and repurposing. The chair, that's an actual bonnet from a V-dub Beetle that came into the shop, and got some inspiration there with that. Turned it into a bench seat for the garden. We've got the letterbox there for the Lorax, Mr. Lorax. It's got some surprises for the kids if they have a look in there. Also, there's a reel for cabling that's been repurposed and used as a table as well. So there's lots of all those items came out of the waste streams from at the well campsite and were used for repurposing. So it just shows with a bit of imagination, there's just so much you can do with discarded items. It's excellent.
Yeah.
And is it popular with families, Jeff?
Yeah. It's popular with families. It's popular with the customers in general. Quite often see people taking photos of our displays there. There's some new ones that we've done for this year's competition.
I was going to say, spoiling it, aren't I?
Yeah, that's what the team have done for this year. The Tyre Gardens from previous competition 2 years ago. But yeah, the team again have done a fabulous job of that reuse and repurpose and incorporating into that garden feature is just I think it inspires people because as Chris said, it's the garden city. A lot of people in Toowoomba are very much into their gardening, so it's excellent.
Awesome.
And I'm not sure whether we have a photo there, but we recently come up with another idea. Just out front of the water feature, we've put in a caged area, as you can see there. That was actually a cage, and we had the idea of putting a door going into a door to try and bring people in. Obviously, people go through the roller door, but you can see there on the right there, just in front of the fridge planter. And we had these old, what would you call them? They are just bits of steel light shades, I believe they were. And we had no purpose for them. We're thinking there's got to be something we can do with them. And so we had a bit of chain and connected them up. And a lady that came in, she said, I can probably give you some succulents for that. So we had fantastic use of some people from the community as well who chipped in and put some succulents in there as well. So it's great to see that community involvement as well. That's
awesome.
Yeah.
And another, so Jasmine there is at the Clinton shop with the start of the reuse garden at the Clinton shop.
Yeah.
It's a slow, but it's a start. So
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And you did mention briefly, but can you just expand on the minions and the planter boxes, what they're made of?
Yeah. Okay. So the minions are from tyres that have come into the facility. So tyres are a huge problem in landfill. So any way you can repurpose or reuse tyres is got to be a good thing. So minions was what we decided to do, and we had a competition for our customers to name the minions. There's 4 minions there, and that was a well-received competition. We had 4 winners. Yes, so all our minions have names.
Big Jeff.
Yes, there is one called Big Jeff. Yes.
And as part of that, they've all got personalities as well, don't they?
They do. Yeah, helpful, courteous. Yeah, those sorts of attributes to our minions. The planter boxes that you can see at the entrance there, they're made from the inside shell of refrigerators. So the actual inside of the fridge. And then what happens is you take that out of the refrigerator, then use corrugated iron, again, reuse pallets, and for the wood trim, create the planter box. They make a fabulous addition to the garden as well. And we put in some hedging for those. Yeah, and they're fabulous. They really hold the moisture in well, and they're very good. Yes.
It helps them really to moisture in Toowoomba is a big deal. It's very windy and very dry, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Rainfalls is not as common as what it used to be when I was a younger man. Up there's been some issues with water supply up here in the past. So yeah, it's a vital resource in the region.
Awesome. Does anyone have any questions about the reuse garden, the sensory garden in Toowoomba?
Can I just ask, with the gardens and that, do you have enough room to keep building things, or do you have to, like, say next year if you're going to enter again, you'll have to get rid of one of them and start again?
Good question.
Yeah, Patricia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you go, Chris. You can answer, buddy.
Yeah. So basically, we've had a few more additions in the last probably month or so, and so it's not overcrowded just yet, but it's getting there. So whether we try and put them in another place or take them out to our other site, that's definitely an option. But yeah, as you say, we would like to keep going. That's what we want to do.
Thank you.
Awesome. And Terry, did you have a question too?
Yeah, so do they have a section like the Tinkerage where people go there and make things?
No, not at the moment, no.
Okay.
Not at the moment, fortunately.
It's the dream.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, we'll move up the coast a little bit and head to Noosa. Mitch.
Yes, new to all this stuff. You're all doing a wonderful job there and interesting stuff. I was thrown at the last minute here to do this. Charlie is not here today, and it was Grant as well. We call him Professor Charlie Sparks. He's down in Brisbane at the moment, putting in an affidavit for a protest that he's doing as far as the quarry goes in Kingston. That's another story altogether. What I'm going to do, however, is I'm going to run through his little class that he's going to do next Friday, and we're already half booked out for that one. It's a workshop for these planter boxes, planters made from the humble little pedestal fan. So I'm gonna race through this. I reckon I can do it in 3 minutes flat. But you be the judge. Can you see me? Can you see me up there on the screen? Anyway, I'll pump it out. We get probably every site gets probably about 20 of these fans a day at least, I'd imagine. That's the pedestal fan there. Okay, so I'm going to push this through. All it is now, we have the pedestal fan. Also, this stuff here, this comes from our mattress deconstruction on site as well. Everything here, everything on this whole site is all discarded. Everything is discarded except for obviously your buildings and our shelving. It's just incredible. But the stuff we get in, we're going to be building out a few of these. I'm going to, as I said, 3 minutes. I'm running out of time. So we've got our little husky. This is in your little mattress as well. So our husky out of the mattress. I've gone out to our green waste pile out the back there, and I've grabbed a whole bunch of mulch. All we do, I've got the mulch here. Hope you can see that. I'm kicking along. Put the mulch inside on top of the husk. Now we've got coarse mulch. I think the coarse stuff's better because it retains the moisture more. But Charlie will argue with that. Now I put that in there. I've got that. Now I've got a little bit more of the husk. You can all see this. Put that on top. Lock it in. Couple of plants. This is easy. all this stuff. I've got some cord I'll put on in a second. All we do is stick a couple of plants inside there. I've got a few of these. I'll just whack this in there. Now I'll just put my cord on. Might be a second. There it is. And it's a bit heavier than I thought. And look at that. Wonderful, isn't it? That's less than 3 minutes. That's less than 3 minutes. Hang that one up there.
Good job.
Here we go.
That is
Nice one.
that is fantastic. Thank you, Mitch.
So if you're up this way, Noosa way, because we're I was going to do a demonstration on a Fresnel lens as well, but the sun sort of evaded us at the moment. No breakfast, but we'll have that next time you're up.
Awesome.
Any questions?
That's so cool. Did anyone have any questions about the planter?
How did you tie them? Did you use metal or cable ties or?
That's a good question. To get them together, we've just used normal. This is just wire from just to hang them up with. It's all
okay.
Yeah, just a little bit of wire, some hooks, everything from site. We've got this one here. This is you might be able to see this. This is our little herb garden made out of the pedestal fan as well. That's just upright. That's another interesting one that Charlie's done as well. But we're gonna build a few of these out. We're gonna have the plan is to have mint lemon tea every day over summer.
Beautiful.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
We might have to have a garden competition within RRA. Mitch, could you just talk us through as well, seeing as I'm just going to, go completely off plan and take longer than anticipated, but can you talk us through, so the photo is actually of what is exactly behind you. Can you talk about reuse sculptures? You've got quite a few of them on site there.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, so you just want to talk through that picture there, or do you want me to walk you around?
No, don't walk us around. You'll lose internet. I know what that site's like.
Make it a bit dizzy.
Look.
Yeah, look, as Steve's hit on before, as far as making the benches, I was here when he was making the bench for this site, and it is an amazing process that he does there. And they have everyone knows they're extremely sturdy benches. That picture that you can see there with the harp, well, that's actually not harp, it's a piano, the metal out of a piano, the inside of the piano, and then you've got a fridge as a base, and then we've just clattered it around the edges there. It's filled with water. We did have fish in it, but the birds got the fish. That was a while ago now. We're going to get some more fish again. And there's a fountain in the middle of that as well.
That's awesome. And you've got a bit of a green wall over there between the two sheds.
Yes, it's a little bit greener than what you can see there in that picture now, I hope. But it's sort of, the idea of that was to sort of break up the zones and get that to be more of a sort of an urban heat island effect that should have normally without the greenery. And there's a word for it now that's biophilia that a lot of people are going towards nowadays, is greening in the insides of buildings and urban areas as well. That's behind there, those two frames, they're just bed frames, and the pot came in the same day from someone just offloading their little wall hanging pots that come from Bunnings, but they're everything, as I said, just comes in. We just utilise it and sell it on, of course.
Awesome. I might have to pull either Jeff or Steve up. There's been a question about the fridge inners. Are they a sealed unit when you remove them from the outer metal case, and are they difficult to remove?
I can do that. They actually aren't removed. So it's essentially you knock the doors off, you take the condenser out. and anything that's just hanging around there. So yeah, you still have the metal frame around the outside, and you have the internal plastic thing with all the shelves slide into. And then what you're doing is, once you flip it on its back, you grab a huge metal pole and punch some holes in the bottom just so it doesn't fill up like a pool, because you don't want all your plants to drown, unless it's a water feature, of course. And then, yeah, so you punch through and then you skin it. So the actual metal on the outside of the fridge is what you put the mini orb onto.
Mhm.
So it's just a couple of metal screws to attach your tin all the way around, and then just top it. So yeah, it's a relatively simple process, and they're more sturdy than anything you get at Bunnings.
Gotta love that. And it's reuse.
Exactly. That saves a lot of landfill, because
And-
they take up cubic space. Like, some of them crush down, but not very well. So it's a lot like mattresses. It's a high volume landfill item. So if we had the time and the resources, we'd actually make them and sell them on site. But we just don't have the time to do it in a large scale. But
Fair enough. So this is a close up. This is both of these photos are at Noosa, aren't they, Mitch? Do you want to talk us through the bike and the surfboard and your sandpit space?
Yeah, Steve's probably the better one to speak to about that as well. However, yeah, the base is also two fridges put together. It's been painted that way with a sandpit, as you can see, underneath the mural that was painted by a local artist. And yeah, that's just to basically our display out the front. The kids love the little sandpit, although it's not very deep. But we've got yeah, there again, that's just a couple of fridges. And next to that, next to the bike, you've also got, as Steve was mentioning, another fridge that's been used as a planter box as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for Mitch or Steve around Noosa's reuse?
Good ideas, though.
They're cool, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Oh, sorry, these are the close-up photos of Charlie's planters. Pretty cool.
all I'd say is, if you do decide to do something with the innards of a piano, they are extremely heavy. I could barely lift it onto the back of a ute. So, and I'm rather large. Be very careful if you try anything that adventurous.
Awesome. And the that a water feature, is that solar powered, is it?
Yeah, that one's solar powered. Yep.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. Well, I'll bring up the Rockhampton team if everyone's good. I think we've got David and I can't see who's next to him. Where am I?
Yeah, Sonia's gone down.
Sonia's with you today. Welcome. So Reviva Ibis Rockhampton is our latest addition to the RRA team. So yeah, welcome. Now, David, I might pull you up first to talk about. We had a discussion yesterday in preparation for this. I just wanted you to talk about a little bit why reuse is special to you and why you love the Reviva shop.
Yeah, well, I'd been coming to this shop for probably a couple of years before I got the job here, and I like to renovate houses, and my house is basically the house that the Reviva shop has built. So when you come there, it's like a display home, if you like. Virtually everything that is been added there has come from this shop. I've got my front letterbox is if everyone can just use your imagination, I can't show it to you, but my letterbox is a big round drum. I painted it red. The top is an old light cover, and I put a hole in it, and I put Australia Post in white. The other stuff is red. I've cemented it in. It looks like I've got my own Australia Post round box, and all the neighbours around are really jealous about that. I tell you.
That is so cool.
The Australia Post rings me up and said, "Oh, listen, where'd you get that post box from?" I said, "From the Reviva shop," and they thought I stole it. You know, I've got this. I found this very decorative bits of metal, and my roof is actually metal, and I've put it up as a ceiling rose on all my light fittings, which were all rusted out. So now when people come in, they say, "Where did you get that beautiful ceiling roses from?" I say, "Oh, from the Reviva shop," you know, and it's the only one in the world. So when I go to sell that house, you know, I'll put probably 2-3 million on that house because everything is just, you just can't get it anywhere else.
It's so
What else I've got? Oh, an outdoor spa. My brother-in-law, he bought an outdoor spa, cost him 12 grand. And he's always trying to outdo me. Poor bugger. He never wins. But I bought my outdoor spa from $50 from the Reviva shop. You know, it wasn't in good condition, but you know, give it a little bit of love, you know, 50, $100 later, it's going to be a great spa. So, you know, again, you know, from the Reviva shop for $50. My back door is from the Reviva shop. What else? I've got some shutters for my windows from the Reviva shop. You know, all they need is a little bit of love, and you know, you can turn your house into $1 million house. I'm sure there's Channel 9, I think, have been ringing me wanting to do a program or something. I don't know. I haven't got time.
Yeah.
But it's all from the Reviva shop. It's you know, you know, people look at
Better
it.
homes and gardens.
I
That's
know,
it.
right? They should be going to David's house.
Yeah.
If you're ever near Rocky, come through. There's only a $5 admission fee, but it's well worth it. You're welcome.
I love it. I love it. Maybe better, not Better Homes and Gardens. Maybe Vogue Australia.
Yeah.
That's the way. Yeah.
It's one of a kind. I
I'm
love.
just wondering if we could see the post letterbox on our site at some time.
Absolutely, David. Could you send me a photo of your letterbox, please?
Yeah, I can do that for you.
And
And,
some of the other things that he's done. It'd be interesting to see.
It would. He's done a great job. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem.
And so talk to us more about some of the great finds at Reviva. Like, what do your customers come in for?
Yeah, we have a lot of you know, great customers who own sell a lot of products. So you know, they look for something that's a little bit interesting or different, and it's the only shop, you know, anywhere that you can get these unique one-off products, and they know that, and they add a little bit of love, and you know, they make, you know, good money out of it. That's their business. But yeah, anything that's a little bit different, anything that's old or antique or unusual. We've got a lot of people who have great imaginations, and you know, they turn stuff into whatever they think of, and again, on sell it and make a bit of money. But it's the joy that it gives them. You know, it's worth, you know, probably more than what they get from in return that money. You know, they just love doing it, and they're here every Friday morning and, you know, Saturday and Sunday just to get all those unique products. And that's what, you know, is so special about the Reviva shops, is you get stuff here that you just can't get anywhere else.
Absolutely. I think that the Tinkerage participants would probably agree with you there. I know, you know, that the repair and reuse is almost therapeutic for a lot of the people that come along.
Yeah.
What's the typewriter we're looking at?
This is a typewriter that was at Reviva Ibis at their opening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just one of the photos we have. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I will stop sharing. Did anyone have any questions? While we've got everyone together, this is a rarity. I don't think I've ever seen this group together in one place before.
It's good to have all this knowledge here.
We're very lucky. They're very talented, aren't we?
Yeah.
Very, very lucky.
Very lucky. Well, thank you everybody for sharing all your ideas and all your incredible work. We really appreciate you being so willing to share. It's fantastic.